With all its faults, the National Policy Forum Commission are opening consultations for a few weeks, and this is the vehicle which Labour Party members can use this year to let the leadership know what we want to pursue in terms of human rights, international law, conflict resolution, and to make clear that we don't want to return to a bomb-first military interventionist policies of the last Labour governments in the previous decade and the present Tory government. So I want to mention three areas. First of all, anti-war policies. These are really popular with the electorate and with Labour Party members. People still haven't forgotten the chaos and suffering that New Labour helped to create in the Middle East in the past 2 decades. The consultation, the IPC, International Policy Commission consultation, makes considerable references to Labour values, but no word does it say what these Labour values are. In my opinion, this needs to change. We should seek to put the peace policies of the 2019 General Election Manifesto back into Labour Party policy. Our approach is far from controversial. The United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, has issued an appeal for an immediate global ceasefire to reinforce the diplomatic action and help create the conditions for the delivery of life-saving aid during the world's shared battle against COVID-19. And we should be supporting that. British Armed Forces are currently deployed in more than 80 countries in a range of roles. We should be rethinking Britain's participation in overseas military exercises, which may take place during the pandemic, and consider which British forces could be withdrawn from some of the war zones that we're currently in. The second point I want to make is in relation to international good governance. Global good governance means addressing the global gap between rich and poor, both rich and poor states and rich and poor people within those states. This has been highlighted by the COVID-19 crisis. Whilst governments in the most economically advanced countries are focused on testing, contact tracing, the supply of personal equipment and ventilators and such like, the global south faces much more basic and more severe challenges. Some of the countries in the global south lack soap and water. Others are grappling with how to fight COVID-19 with insufficient medical facilities, tiny numbers of medical staff per head of population, and few, if any, ventilators and other equipment. Faced with a health pandemic which does not recognise national borders, the basic challenge that all states face is the need to ensure equitable distribution of health resources. The second point I want to make is about, and the final point, is about Britain's security objectives. A pandemic like coronavirus has long been at the top of the national securities threat list. Despite this, it appears that the Johnson government is insufficiently prepared, and is slow in responding. The UK's National Security Risk Assessment assesses that and prioritises major disruptive risks to Britain's national security. The 2015 NSRA, the last one that was published, identified public health as one of the five major, most likely risks to Britain's security. And that was alongside terrorism, cyber threats, international military conflict, and natural weather hazards. The UK's resilience to this and other unforeseen security threats needs significant improvement. Britain was slow to start and technically unprepared for COVID-19. And this was despite government advisors for the past 10 years or more warning of the need to prepare for health pandemics. So I'm going to leave it there, and I just want to say, before I conclude, that I'll be making a submission myself to the International Policy Commission in the course of the next week or so. Please look out for it, support it, and get your wards and CLPs to support it if there's a mechanism that exists at present. The IPC was consulted on a draft consultation. Adrian, myself, and others submitted amendments in line with current Labour Party policy. I believe I'm right in saying that not a single one of those amendments was accepted. Your submissions will help to keep arguing the case on the IPC for current Labour Party policy, which is for conflict resolution, respect for international law, and support for human values. In the current circumstances, it's one of the few avenues that we all have of influencing party policy. So I'd like to end with urging you to make a submission, make a contribution to the IPC consultation. Thank you very much.